Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Legacy Guardian, Sentinel Guardian, whatever. Pretty much Blue Omega Supreme. I missed out on the Titans, or Siege, the Titan class Siege Omega Supreme, mainly because he was really expensive and I just didn't really like the look of him. Mainly the blast effect parts, and because they were like this weird smoky color, didn't really like it. And then I think he also had the Siege battle damage. I was like, I'm not a big fan, and I was like, maybe I actually do want to get him at some point. And I was like, he's hundreds upon $100. Like, no, not worth it. Not worth it, but I got this at GameStop for a decent price. I think like $160-ish, somewhere around there. Not too bad. Still kind of wibbly wobbly whether or not I want to still keep him after the review, because he is pretty cool in his robot mode. I do like the robot mode, but the alt mode is pretty not the greatest in my opinion. What I'll do is I think I'm going to transform him bit by bit and then set it behind me. Because it's just so big I can't do it in front of the camera like I normally would. So let's hope for the best.
Okay, so articulation, of course. Head is on a ball joint. Not a ball joint. It's similar to actually Pengu toys. But yeah, it goes swivel like this. You can do a full 360. Look up that far, down that far. It doesn't really get wibbly wobbly. Same reason pretty much as Pengu toys. Does have the gun on the back, which does move around. Visor, faceplate does not open up, which is just as fine, just as well. Don't want to really end up losing it. Got some nice detail on the chest and all that. Here, I like the colors. The only reason why I don't really like it too much, overall, is that I never really liked the Guardians. They look really ugly. Like, I'm glad in some ways that they didn't give him the ugly Guardian face, but I'm also kind of wish they had, because then it'd be more accurate to the cartoon. And they're also much hubbier looking for some reason. Not sure why they decided to go with that aesthetic. But yeah, nice details. I do like the blue and white color. Like, it's a nice color. It's just not Omega Supreme, which is one reason why I'm not the biggest fan of it. But it still doesn't look bad overall, in robot mode at least. Anyway, I was still doing articulation. Okay, so arms. It's gonna be more tricky. Can go. This, he has lots of ratchets, which is good. You can go up and around. If it wasn't for the wings, it could do a full 360. Can't really go back very far. Arms about that far. Bicep rotation, about 90-degree bend at the elbow. A wrist rotation. I mean, as close to as a normal. It's not a regular hand; it's a claw hand, but can get pretty good range of motion with just the claw. And then it's over 90-degree bend at the knuckle, and you can get some, I guess, pretty cool things. You could probably have him hold some smaller robots if you like, maybe Megatron if you really want. This arm obviously doesn't really have much going for it because it's a gun arm. And then rotation on a nice loud ratchet. Legs to go forward that far. Back that far. You do the full blitz. Oh wow. And thigh rotation also on a ratchet. And then about 90 to bend at the knee. And then quite a bit of good ankle tiltage. And if you look right in here, it's not an empty cavity, which is pretty cool. And then, speaking of cavities, the shins open up, which is kind of cool. So I guess you could store stuff in there, like the little robot he comes with. I can't remember the name of it. It probably has a name, but like I said, don't. Wait, let's see. Probably on here. Guardian. Okay, Lunar-Tread. So Guardian robot, yes, it's Guardian. And Lunar-Tread right here. I don't know how well you can see him because I'm filming this from behind. But he's a nice little robot, pretty much same color scheme as the Guardian. It's just a little Micromaster. Turns into a lunar vehicle. And he does technically have a gun mode, because you can, weapon mode, because you can flip out the peg on his chest. So you can then peg him in. Now weapon mode, I'm not even sure if I honestly don't care enough to show it off. And if you really want to see it, I'm sure you can find it elsewhere. But to get him into his vehicle mode, you just pretty much rotate his arms up and collapse his legs, and that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you just rotate the dish back. Now for gun mode, I guess for gun mode, it's something like this. I think, if I remember right, something like that. pretty goofy, because, you know, that's the only thing that really has guns on it, and then the dish. But yeah, he turns into a little lunar vehicle, lunar rover, which can also be stored on him in his vehicle mode. I just like to have him standing around on him. And there's multiple places. Like, you can store him in the shins if you want to. You can store him in the rocket. And you can store him in the tank chest portion, which you can't do in robot mode, only in his alt mode. Okay, so I guess next thing to do is transformation. So, like I said, we'll do this in sections. Okay, first off, undo that, so you can then slide out the wings, which become track sections, and then let's go ahead and pop out the rocket section. Now, one thing I do like about the Titans, I keep wanting to say Titan because he's a Titan, but the legacy or this mold is the rocket. I do think it's pretty cool. I thought it looked abnormally tall originally, but I think that just has to do with the other problems with the set that I really don't care for too much. You pretty much just straighten out the limbs, and this is the only really finicky bit with the arm section is just getting these to line up right to fold around the arms. So you just get this all frozen in. This part's easy, and then close up. The thing is that you have to make sure the shoulders are rotated properly so that this will close around here. So let's just get this untabbed again so we can get both sides matching. So rotate this a few clicks, and then just close up, and pull down. I guess you can pull it down, then close up. It's probably actually better overall. Okay, now it's okay. There we are. Now, yeah, this part's a little finicky, like I said. Okay, this all close up. There we are. Nope. There we are, I think. Nope, I don't know what it is about this tabbing into place, but it's, I think what it is getting these little notches to line up just so inside here. There we are, finally. Okay, so there is little spots in here that you have to get lined up. Obviously, since it's so massive the way that I'm having to do this, might not see it properly, but untap that again. Get this. Okay, let's see if we can get it on camera properly, but just get it where it slides in there, and then it should close up around here, getting it all nice and secure and pretty much to the rocket configuration. Now, depending on how you like to have the the landing configuration for it, I'd say fingers fully extended on the knuckle, and then just get them to the same positioning on the sides, and then you have yourself a big tall rocket, which I think is pretty cool. There is like a cockpit type thing right in here, so it can be like a horizontal rocket ship, and then you can also look at it from this way, because there is a porthole, which is, you see how big he is. It seems kind of silly to have a porthole because, like, you know, it makes him look really small when he's supposed to be massive. But then you can flip this down, flip this open, and hopefully it doesn't pop off. And then you can look inside, and there's a control console and such that if you want to, you can put him in there. And you can put him in there in vehicle mode if you don't feel like putting him in there in robot mode, but that's a thing you can do, which is pretty nifty. And then just close that back up, and let's see. As you can see, the legs aren't quite right, and then I guess you can fully extend them just to get it to be about right, but then it kind of wants to spin around on the inner part of the hand, so maybe let's try just one click on each finger, and that should work. And even so, it's not quite wanting to stand perfectly straight, but it's close enough. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and do the tank part. Flip up, and then flip down, and then just pull out. And then one more section to go, and then of course don't want to forget about the wings. Alright, so here's his head. You want to flip down the gun. Make sure that this is also open. Don't want to close that back. Or no, that was the other thing. But you open up this part, and then you rotate this around. Rotate around, and then you rotate this, which brings out the barrel. and then you just get everything extended. Put those guns latched open, pull apart right in there, then extend until it clips together. Push. It didn't quite clip together yet. Okay, there we are. It's clipped together. And then pretty much got it in tank mode. It's fairly easy to do. Although you can't rotate the turret, which is the biggest thing I don't like about this tank. The way they do it is that you can't really, well, make it do what tanks are supposed to do. And then you can just set Lunar Rover in there, and there's little slots to help keep them in place. And just, well, lift up the guns, which that is an upside to Pengu Toys one, is that you can at least move these up. So I guess it's trading that for this, or I don't know if it's really trading, it's just how this guy transforms. And as you can see, pretty big tank. Let's go ahead and set that off to the back. And now the final thing, this. And this, as you can see, there are rocket launchers hidden behind these flaps. So go ahead and lift that up a little bit. Rotate 180 degrees. Flip back down. Make him do the splits. Bend at the knees. And as you can see, his legs do not unfold. And because of that, it's a raised platform, which, depending on aesthetics that you like or don't like, which I happen to not like this one, it looks bad in my opinion. Okay, so pretty much all you have to do now, there is a couple more things you should do if you want to. If you want to be able to connect it to other playset type figures, you can flip these out. I'm not sure exactly which ones they're compatible with. They're probably not compatible with the Titans Returns one, but it probably is compatible with the Siege ones. So just flip those out. And then these right here on the thigh, flip out, and these are ramps, and then you just position them pretty much to where they'll sit on the floor, or wherever you so desire to put this figure, if you so desire to get this figure. That's pretty much it for the body. So let's go ahead and stand up. And this is not going to fit the greatest on here, but get that flat. I guess get the tank up. Put the rocket right here, which this actually does look pretty cool. And then put this here. And final, last but not least, take the wings, flip out. You want to make sure all of these are flipped up so that you can then have them supported, and you just plug it in. And plug in, sort of like you would if you're connecting tracks on the set, or connecting to another set, which I prefer the pegs of the Pengu Toys one, because that one feels like it's not going to wear out as quickly as this, and also I feel like I had to use a little bit of force initially on the first couple times I transformed this guy. And there we are. Make sure that the little legs don't go anywhere. And this is the alt mode. I guess I'll stand back here and talk about more. Let's move the camera forward. As you can see, it is quite a big set. But the main downside to it is, look how big the tank is. It is massive. Look how small the track is. It looks almost like a circle rather than an oval. It is an oval, but barely an oval. I think what would have been kind of cool is if they had done a thing where if they did want to have it raised up because they didn't want to do the legs, they could have extended it out perhaps and had it go up like a ramp and made it more of an oval rather than a smallish, well, a really small oval, almost circle. And yeah, that's about it for Transformers Legacy Guardian Robot and Lunar-Tread. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.